All right, welcome to the channel. Remember to hit that subscribe button, helps the channel grow. Today we're going to be removing the valve cover gaskets and replacing them on this 2010 Chevy Suburban with a 5.3. This is going to be the same process if you have a 6.0 or if you have the older model 5.3s between 2000 all the way up to 2014. They stayed with the basic design. So first things first, we got the harness out of the way. We're going to have to remove this coil pack. Now, the coil pack's set on a bracket, and that's what we're going to take off. Get this phone to steady a little bit better. So we have a 10 millimeter stud here. We'll have one here, 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 and then right on the other side of this coil pack in the back. Now you want to make sure that these little wire looms, these covers, sometimes get dry rotted and they crinkle up and break like this. Make sure that none of that gets down into your engine when you're removing the valve cover. Take some air or something and blow that off before you remove your valve cover so that stuff does not get inside your engine. You do not want that. So we're going to go ahead and remove these plug wires. Give them a little twist. Like so. And pull this. Tuck it up out of the way. Now this whole setup will come off as a whole. So we're going to go ahead and remove those studs real quick. All right. Now that you have successfully removed your coil packs, that is the bolts. So you will have 5 total. Now we're going to remove the valve cover. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts. This hose here has a little push clip. You push it back, and then you'll pull it right off from the back corner. These are 8s, and we'll remove the valve cover. Now, some of the earlier Model 5.3s be just a hose that goes into the PVC here, which will pop off. You won't have this style of connector. Now that we removed the valve cover, obviously we did take air, make sure that no trash got into the top of the cylinder head there. We want to take a rag and just clean up the meeting surface so when the new gasket and valve cover goes back on, we have a good clean surface and it's going to mate up with no issues. This is our valve cover. We will be pulling these out and replacing these seals as well. So we're going to get into that. We are going to clean this valve cover up, just for preference, and it'll look a lot better seeing we already got it out. And if it ever does leak again, we'll be able to tell a lot quicker. So on these seals here, all you have to do is just pull straight up on the stud, wiggle it, it'll pop right out. But on these seals, all you have to do is get you a pair of side cutters or dikes, whatever you want to call them, and just cut the side of the old rubber. It'll come right off. The new ones are just going to pop right on. So, all right. Now that we have the driver's side removed, we're going to do the passenger side. So this one does have these heater hoses in the way. You have got to be careful when removing or popping these hoses up. You can push them out of the way. Keep in mind, these quick disconnect fittings normally get dry rotted and are fragile and sometimes break off pretty easy. So keep that in mind when you're doing this side because these can pop off, especially if you're doing it after you just ran the vehicle and your cooling system's under pressure. You don't want to get burnt by antifreeze. So the same thing goes here. I'm going to pop these off, tuck them down. We're going to remove this bracket, which will be a nut on one of the studs we have to remove to get this out of the way. I'm going to pull up on our harness here for the injectors. Get it tucked up out of the way. And then same right here. Pull this up. That is the pigtail for the coil packs. Push that back so we have clearance. And then we're going to pop off all the plug wires. Now, the plug wires are going to be easy to go back on. You're going to start with the first one and just run them in order. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's almost impossible to mix up the wires on these with the pulls. Now we're going to remove the 5 studs on this one as well. After we pop this harness up, push it over to the side out of the way. So we'll have one here. We'll have a nut and then a stud here. The nut will take this bracket off for the hoses, and a stud below it. Stud there, there, and then the fun one is in the back corner. So the coil packs, should say, is off on this side. This back one's a little tight to get to. You can break it loose with a wrench and then use your fingers to get it out. But now we took air, blew everything off, so there's no trash that's going to get in once we remove the valve cover. Again, 4 8mm bolts that are going to go through the valve cover. We're going to go ahead and remove them, and then this valve cover will lift up and out. All right, so we got the other valve cover off now. You do have this line that pops into the breather tube. Just pop it down, swivel it down, and clear the lines or wiring harness that goes right there. This is the same process. We're going to pull, twist, pop these out, and replace new and get her back on. Remember, hit that like and subscribe. Reverse procedure when you're going to reinstall